And speaking of running one's mouth, that could actually have some serious damage. Finally today, we're going to be talking about Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, the press tour, and the fact that according to Miss Larson, it is overwhelmingly white and male. Dun, dun, dun. That's a big one right now, right? Seriously, she says this here. Brie Larson isn't letting her Captain Marvel press tour be overwhelmingly white and male. The Oscar-winning actress is taking an active role in ensuring her blockbuster press tour remains inclusive. I'd like to argue that Hollywood is very much a meritocracy, that your work, that your value is predicated on the fact that you can perform and do the job, and everything else should come in that particular way. Now, that's not always true. There's a lot of nepotism, a lot of cronyism, a lot of casting couch situations, sex for favors, that kind of stuff. It happens. It's a very broken system that attracts a lot of broken people. But when the people try to, I think, make it more broken as they go into it, it boggles my mind. Now, on the press tour for Captain Marvel, Brie Larson is absolutely committed to making it as inclusive as possible, and I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with trying to bring in people from different backgrounds, different races, different religions, to talk about a movie, because people are going to interpret it differently, and that's great. That's why we have reviews, to get different takes on the particular subject matter, to give audiences as wide a swath of opinions to pick and choose from, to make, hopefully, an informed decision about whether or not to see something. Now, I tend to operate on the idea that you should go see it and then make up your mind, but that's just me. So the story here is that for a recent interview with Marie Claire, Brie Larson handpicked handicapped Kia Brown to be her interviewer for the Marie Claire magazine. Brown called the designation the biggest opportunity she's had in her career and noted that nobody usually wants to take the chance on a disabled journalist. Well, okay. I haven't heard that. I have friends who do press junkets all the time who are actually kind of upset at this, because they're like, well, it doesn't really feel like they're being chosen as well. They oftentimes, it's a website run by Hispanic men, by Hispanic culture, I guess. I'm not even sure how to fully define it. People who run it are of Hispanic descent. So representation comes in quite a bit, and sometimes they get contacted because of representation. But they're not being contacted here to talk to Captain Marvel, which is kind of interesting, isn't it? Now, Larson's hoping to heighten inclusive voices by becoming more active in determining her press opportunities. So while she's not, now they're not saying that she's outright denying people, because they wouldn't actually say that. It almost comes across like they're highly suggesting it, that they're putting that out there, that this is a suggestion that it's not going to be real. Now, this is what Brie Larson here says. She says, about a year ago, I started paying attention to what my press days looked like in the critics reviewing movies, and I noticed it appeared to be overwhelmingly white male. So I spoke to Dr. Stacy Smith at USC Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, and we put together a study to confirm that. Moving forward, I decided to make sure my press days were more inclusive. After speaking with you, the film critic Valerie Complex, and a few other women of color, it sounded like across the board that they weren't getting the same opportunities as others. When I tried to talk to facilities that weren't providing it, they all had different excuses, which, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be based on the project, right? I would argue that when it comes to something like Captain Marvel, a lot of the press junkets you're going to see are going to come from higher publications, more traffic publications, and maybe smaller, more inclusive or diversity-based publications simply don't have the traffic to warrant that kind of attention. That's true. I mean, I run $3 Theater. It's about 25,000 subscribers, but I don't really get anything offered to me at that size. If I had 100,000, it'd be a different fucking story. But right now it doesn't. So you really can't sit there and argue that. So I have nothing against her trying to bring more people into the fight, more people into the fray for asking the questions and getting their outlets more publication. But when it's choosing someone based upon the color of their skin or their gender for a specific job, that does kind of come across as racist and sexist, doesn't it? It does kind of come across as not allowing the person's work to speak for themselves and them being chosen strictly because of, well, the color of their skin and the genitals dangling between their legs. And when she says that, oh, well, all these critics are overwhelmingly white and men, Doesn't that come across again? She's just kind of flipping the script on this one. So this could this could blow up in certain ways. This could blow up any particular way. I'm not too sure yet. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with this one. But a lot of people out there aren't happy with it. A lot of people out there are looking at her comments about A Wrinkle in Time and this as being a negative. And if you don't recall, in The Wrinkle in Time, she basically said that she doesn't care what white men reviewers have to say about a movie that was apparently made by a woman of color. Well, not apparently made. It wasn't made by a woman of color, Ava DuVernay. The movie tanked. The critical reviews across the board were bad. The fan reviews across the board were bad. It was a movie that had a lot to do with Christian themes and theology, and it ignored all those things. So a lot of people just didn't really care for it because the source material wasn't respected. Not that the critics were white and male, but that's what she went with. So that's the problem with Brie Larson, is she opened up her mouth a few months ago about that one, and that caused a lot of criticism. And here on this press junket for Captain Marvel, it's looking like she's once again attacking white men. And I believe that when it comes to comic book movies, while there is a very diverse group of people that go see it, a lot of your mainstays, a lot of your people who hang around, a lot of people who keep coming back for more are predominantly your white men. But then again, to be fair, the studies have shown over the course of 2017 and 2018 that movies that are led by women or women of color have actually performed better in the long run. But I don't know how true that is, because the examples they used was that movie Widows. That didn't really do well at all. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with this one. But it's possible that Brie Larson's own comments could directly impact the box office of Captain Marvel. And I know she wants to use her time in the spotlight to try to amplify and prop up others, and I don't have a problem with that. But pick them because you want to pick them because they're good. And they're not being represented because they're good, and they're not getting the opportunity because other people, for whatever reason. Base it on meritocracy, not the color of their skin or their gender. Because when you do that and you criticize the other, that makes you no better. It makes you the same as what you criticize. You're just in a position of power to implement it. That ain't equality. That ain't inclusiveness. Pick somebody because they're good, not because of what they say that they are. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. And you check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.